So in this video here, because I have a digital pen and the tablet that I'm using is the label is the brand is called Wacom, W-A-C-O-M, Wacom, and there are other brands, but they are usually the best. Basically, they're professional ones, invented and made in Japan. Wonderful quality. And so, if I flip that pen, or just using I will use it as an eraser tool. But I can also use, of course, the mouse as well. But anyway, so select the eraser tool here now, and you see that I'm still having this selected with the mask tool. So where it says Object 4, you see that it is like a pinch, a hole in that, and that's because we can see through the orange here now. If I deselect this one here now, we'll get back and see everything that's orange, but that's not what I want. So I want to show you how we use the Control-Shift key and go down and make the nib, like the edge of the pen, the tip of the pen, and make it smaller. And then I've simply used the eraser to remove color like this. By doing this, I speed up my work as an illustrator quite extensively. And I think that you guys who may not work as an illustrator professionally like I do would actually enjoy this quite a lot. Don't see this as abandoning in any way the traditional way of coloring with pens and brushes on paper. I use that too. But this is just one more tool in your arsenal to have fun with. And let's say you have kids, for example. I mean, I don't know what you guys work with. Maybe some of you work, some of you don't. But let's say if you have kids, for example, that they ask you, hey, mom, dad, how can I start working with digital coloring and all that? These videos can actually be a very good start for them as well. So this is very basic, but this is also something that's done very often. Just because I'm saying it's basic all the time doesn't mean that as an illustrator coloring, I'm not doing it this way very often, because that's what I do actually. So now we have two colors, and we don't have to have this marching ants here all the time activated, but I want to have that still, because let's see, I want to put some shadows on this one here. If you look at this one, it's like a ribbon, and this on top of here I would consider has something darker, because the sun might shine and it creates a shadow. So I will then just go to this color and use this tool called the eyedropper tool, or something else it might be called in whatever program you're using, but it had the same use. And then go over here and take someone that is a little bit dark. You see here that the on top of here, that's the color that's the same with the one that we already have. And then I simply take one, drag it down here, and I'll get a darker one. I can actually put it here to this and see if I like this darker one, and I actually do. So I think that could actually be a good one, and then click OK. And I create a new object again using the brush again, and because it's selected, nothing will happen like paint coming outside on the white here now. So that's the benefit of using digital coloring. And you can imagine when they're making movies, they use a similar technique, but of course there's so much more that are being done. But basically, this is where it all starts. No matter how professionally you work, it starts with something, and it's always start here. How to learn how to color the most simplest way in a computer program. And I'm now picking up these areas here that I feel should have some sort of a shadow. And as you can see, I won't paint anything on the white, but I have to be careful now to stay inside the lines, because inside here the paint is, as you can see, if I start doing like that, it's going to look like didn't want that to happen, so to speak. I'm also seeing here now as I'm working, because I would say that this actually could be a very good training for anyone coloring, because when we do like this, we don't have to be so afraid if we're doing something wrong. So we can always go back and change. For instance, here I can see that the areas inside here, maybe that should be white, because most probably this ribbon would have be like a pinch a hole here. So I can either use a new object and try to see how that looks and put a white paint on that and see how that looks, or I can simply just erase the color like I did previously. And then of course I would like to put some white down here as well. Let's see if we and maybe put some, maybe would this one up here be, yes it would. That's, now I have a ribbon that goes around like that and that and that. So that is one way of doing a coloring of this image.